Oil prices shot back up to over $100 a barrel.
Turmoil and suspense continues on those oil markets.
Oil prices have been on a roller coaster and remain quite a bit higher this morning.
Oil has surged past $100 a barrel, and European natural gas jumped 15% in a single day to over $70 per megawatt hour, the highest levels seen in 3 years. Great, oil prices are entering low Earth orbit again. Many believe this spike is solely due to disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz and the temporary shutdown at Qatar's LNG facility, but that's only part of the story. While this current crisis is dramatic and grabs headlines, it is just the tip of a much deeper, long-term trend. The era of cheap energy is coming to an end. For 15 years, the US shale boom provided the world with abundant low-cost oil and gas, creating what felt like an endless supply of cheap energy. That golden era is now over. Shale production is peaking. LNG exports are surging to meet global demand, and electricity consumption is skyrocketing, driven in large part by AI-powered data centers that require massive, round-the-clock energy. These forces are colliding to create structural pressures on energy markets worldwide. Even if shipping routes reopen and facilities come back online, the underlying dynamics, rising global demand, limited fossil fuel resources, and rapidly changing consumption patterns mean that energy will no longer be as cheap or abundant as it once was. The question now is bigger than today's crisis. It is more about how will this reshape industries, governments, and households like you and me. And before we continue, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video, because what comes next will explain why this isn't just a temporary shock, it's a transformation that will reshape the global economy forever. Even though the world has more energy than ever, prices are anything but stable. But why?
Oil and natural gas markets are highly volatile, and the reasons go beyond temporary crises. Massive US LNG projects like Corpus Christi and Plaquemines are adding nearly 14 billion cubic feet per day of export capacity, while floating platforms in Brazil and Guyana are pumping more oil into global markets. At the same time, traditional petrostates are restarting production to reclaim lost market share. On paper, it looks like energy should be cheap, but reality is more complicated. Europe is in a unique position. Falling gas and power costs could give industries a competitive edge, challenging the long-held idea that Europe pays too much for energy. Meanwhile, petrostates face real financial pressure. Countries like Russia and major Gulf exporters risk cash flow problems if prices don't stay high, which could create political and economic instability. Geopolitics makes the system even more fragile. Small disruptions, like slowdowns through the Strait of Hormuz, can ripple worldwide, sending prices soaring. Supply may be abundant, but volatility is the new normal.
The era of cheap US natural gas is ending, and the reasons go far beyond rising headlines. Three powerful forces are colliding to reshape America's energy landscape.
First, shale oil production is peaking. The Permian, Eagle Ford, and Bakken plays, the backbone of the US shale boom, have been drilled hard for over a decade. Without higher oil prices, drilling slows and the free-flowing associated gas that fueled cheap domestic energy starts to disappear. Second, LNG exports are surging. New Gulf Coast terminals like Plaquemines, Corpus Christi Stage 3, and Golden Pass are set to double America's export capacity over the next decade. Gas that once stayed domestic is now flowing to global markets, tightening local supply. Third, electricity demand from AI-powered data centers is exploding. Hyperscale facilities run 24/7 and could add as much as 13 billion cubic feet per day of gas demand, an unprecedented load. Combined with LNG exports, this creates structural pressure on supply, decoupling US gas prices from European and Asian benchmarks. The result? The US remains an energy superpower, but it can no longer offer cheap energy. Prices are rising, supply is tightening, and the golden era of low-cost American gas is officially over.
While the US faces rising energy costs, Europe may be quietly gaining an edge. Gas and electricity prices in parts of Western Europe are already lower than many expected, giving industries a boost in competitiveness. Countries that once complained about high energy costs are now seeing the benefits of cleaner, cost-efficient technologies like solar, wind, and green batteries. These solutions aren't just environmental friendly, they're economically unbeatable.
Today, Renewables account for around 85% of new power capacity additions, and battery storage is smoothing out price swings, making electricity more reliable and predictable. This shift is reshaping global energy demand. Industrial production is increasingly moving toward regions with abundant, low-cost renewable energy, while high-cost energy regions risk losing factories and jobs. Electrification is accelerating in transport, heating, and industry, meaning electricity, not fossil fuels, is becoming the foundation of economic growth. Europe's integration of renewables, combined with smarter grids, positions it as a low-cost energy hub in a world of rising fossil fuel prices.
The key insight: energy economics now drive adoption more than political mandates. Efficiency, cost saving, and industrial competitiveness are the real incentives. Even as green politics fade from headlines, renewable energy continues to surge, driven by economics, not policy. Today, clean energy accounts for 85% of all new power capacity additions worldwide. Solar, wind, and grid battery storage form a cost-effective combination, providing reliable electricity at prices fossil fuels struggle to match.
Innovation and consolidation are key. Battery storage smooths out fluctuations from solar and wind, while smarter grids reduce waste and improve cash flows. Manufacturing consolidation, especially in China, is lowering costs and stabilizing supply chains. Front-runner markets like California, Texas, and Australia demonstrate the profitability of large-scale projects, supported by rising electricity demand from AI data center, electrified transport, and industry. For investors, renewables are no longer about subsidies. They are driven by strong fundamentals. Falling installation costs, predictable revenues, and growing demand make solar, wind, and storage highly profitable.
This market-driven energy transition shows that cheap, abundant fossil fuels are no longer the only path to economic growth. The global energy landscape is shifting faster than most people realize. Electricity demand is expected to grow 3.6% annually through 2030, 50% higher than previous decade, driven by AI, massive data centers, electrified transport, and industrial reshoring. This surge is creating new pressures on grids, while also opening opportunities for low-cost, flexible power sources like solar, wind, and battery storage. AI alone could add unprecedented electricity loads, forcing utilities to rethink supply, storage, and reliability. Regions with abundant, affordable renewables will attract energy-intensive industries, while high-cost regions risk losing competitiveness. This isn't just about economics, it's about security. Dependence on fossil fuels is declining, but critical minerals like lithium and cobalt are becoming new strategic resources, while digitalized grids face cyber and climate vulnerabilities. The big picture is clear. The era of cheap energy is over. Oil, gas, and traditional fossil fuels can no longer be taken for granted. Yet the rise of electricity and renewables offers a new framework for growth, innovation, and investment. Economies, geopolitics, and even industries will be reshaped, not by temporary crises, but by a permanent shift toward electricity-driven system. Are we ready for this new energy order, or will lagging regions get left behind? Comment below, share your personal thoughts, and don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video so you won't miss what's next. Catch you in the next one.